respected dignitaries on dais, friends. Today's topic is very important and very essential with consideration of sustainability aspects, which is considered by the government of India, as well as it is a talk of the every nations in the world. The topic consists of the smart electricity mobility, EV charging solution, and energy storage. So it is a totally integration of the transportation systems where all these systems are applied. The energy storage consists of battery storage, and it has a different way in different aspects and application also. Now considering the coming to the backgrounds of the electric mobility, that the government of India as well as at international level also, it is decided in treaty to reduce the emission levels at certain levels. Last conference on Paris 2016, and prior to it, journey has been started in 1976 in Rio Declaration, where it is decided to protect the environmental. Thereafter 2000s, the concept of the sustainability came in the picture, where the concept of the sustainability given in the world. And sustainability consists of three components, important: environmental, development, and protection of the natural resources. So balance of three things whenever comes, it lead to the sustainability. Now coming to the today topics, that electricity mobility, which is the drivings, one of the factors affecting the environmental. We see that transportations is one of the important factors which are affecting to environment by way of pollutions. To reduce the pollution is one of the important factors, and that's why the various norms have been decided in reduce the emission levels in the national level also, as well as international levels. And it has been driven by the government policy and regulations, rules and regulations. And also the regulatory framework has been provided in these aspects and awareness of the. So moreover, we know that awareness about the environmental aspect is also taken place by way of the Supreme Court judgment and regulatory aspects and provision of act. Now in from childhood, the environmental topic is taught to the students, and people are aware about the environmental aspects, and it is taken place as a part of the understanding of the peoples, and it lead to they understand that what is the importance of the environment. Now coming to the electricity mobility is concerned, we are seeing that we are using different type of vehicles for going to office, homes, and other things. Also, we see that since last 10 to 15 years, that application of the e-commerce has increased a lot of, just like Amazon, UPS, they are supplying they are delivering the items where the last mile mobility is required, and maximum equipment are using for the electric vehicles. So vehicles which are using for the supply are also leading to pollutions. So it is required to reduce the pollution by way of electric vehicles also. Moreover, for the growth of the electric vehicles, though only by way of the adoption it is not possible, so government come with the different policies, and just like a tax reductions, capital subsidies, grants, EVC in manufacturing sectors. So it lead to the promotion of the electric vehicles mobility substantially. Moreover, environmental rules and regulations have been stringent, so that the utilizer of the vehicles face the difficulties, or they require to keep their upgradation in technology, and simultaneously other options is available, EV vehicles, where the environmental pollution is very less, and that is also lead to the particularly increase in the EV mobility. And fuel efficiency regulations also make stringent to lead to the EV mobility in these aspects. Now coming to the today pictures, that we see that there is substantial increase in the EV utilization, two-wheelers, three-wheelers, four-wheelers, and in first quarter of the 2024, it seems that the increase in the mobility, two-wheeler, four-wheeler to EV mobility is about 24% in comparison to earlier years. So it proves that the increase in the availability, EV mobility is increasing day by day substantially. And it leads to the position that manufacturers have also adopted different technology for EV mobility and at present, the different, because previously it comes diesel engine car, petrol engine driven car, gas engine driven car. Now it comes hybrid electric vehicles where you can use petrol or diesel with battery and it is hybrid. Similarly, development is taken place in plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, battery-driven electric vehicles, and fuel cell electric vehicles and extended range electric vehicles. When the electric vehicles comes, consists of the battery and it required to be charged. And so far, the battery is required to be charged. There are different methodology available. That methodology of conducting charging, where the onboard charge or off-board charge. Similarly, one technology of the options is available, battery swapping. And third option is wireless charging, where capacitive, inductive, or resonant inductive type of charging is possible. Now coming to the battery, so that there are 3 to 4 types of batteries comes, that lead acid, nickel iron based acid, and lithium ion based acid. Nickel ion based acid were used in the anode of the battery. It gives the density higher, lower weight, and vehicle can be transport for longer distance, about 600, 700 kilometers, while lithium ion batteries can lead to the 250 to 180 kilometers. So now recently we see that also there is some changes in metallurgical parts. So lithium ion battery, which is used in anode, having carburetor also, that can be also having higher density. So the range of the vehicle transport is 150 to 300 kilometers. So longer distance is available. And it is one of the factors which lead to reduce the costing of the battery, which has been we found in last 3 years. And it has affected the battery technology in different way. Now battery is charged also in AC base or DC base, which having different advantage and disadvantage. I have covered in my particular presentations, so I'm not going to it in details. And similarly, the architect for the conventional charges with conventional energy is possible. It is also possible to go for the renewable energy based chargers, where you can connect either solar or wind, particularly with the battery charging or vehicle charging with that things. Now classification of the charging technology are in 4 parts. First is physical contract, where the conductive charging, inductive charging, and battery charges is taken place. Second is charging circuit, where the through circuit you can charge different vehicles. That is called onboard charge, off-board charge, wireless charge. Similarly, power flow is unidirectional or bidirectional. Here I say that the vehicles which have been charged work as a battery, it is possible to use that battery for the provide power in supply into the grid as and when requirement. Now coming to see that when coming to the charging aspects, there are 3 important components which are required to be considered. That first is grid operator, EV owners, and aggregators. Grid owner is a distribution licensee, the network owners, that is distribution licensee or system operators, and they are the monitoring the grids. Similarly, EV owner is a vehicle owners who are having the vehicles and they are connecting their vehicles with the grids for charging purpose. Now we see that most of the vehicles which are used at present are domestic vehicles and household vehicles, and they are put the vehicles in charging in night time or after coming to the office at homes. So most of the charging take place at the night hours or at the home place. But simultaneously it takes 7 to 10 hours or 15 hours. So the load come in the grid systems at one times where the price, it affect the grid operation, balancing of load, as well as congestion created in the grid, and it lead to the effect in different way of the grid operation. So it is necessary that somebody who can balance between the demand of the charger, demand of the EV owners and the grid operator. So that may be aggregator who take the information from the grid operators and also from the vehicle owners, and he decide what is the time, at which time, what vehicles are to be charged, at which place, at which rate, and particularly what is the time period of the charging. So he may segregate that periods. So the information which is available from the EV owners and as well as the grid operations real-time data, he may decide that what are the charging to be take place. By smart, at present it is dump charging where the people comes, they charge the vehicles at their office or home, and there is no smart charging. So if smart charging has been taken place, it is helpful for renewable integration which is available in a higher manner, congestion management, reduction in grid reinforcement cost, and peak load reduction, reliability improvement, and flexibility resources also. Now, it is also necessary to see that, particularly when we discuss about the grid pricing of the charging, at that time, fast charging is helpful in helpful in a way that, and particularly EV is work as a controllable load. It can also work as a distributed storage, and it also drive for reward for exchange of grid services. So charging system is required to coordinate with the battery grid operators as well as the EV chargers. It is also possible that this charger may be used for vehicle to grid service, minimize the charging cost, congestion, avoid maintenance grid constant, avoid, minimize the battery degradation, and maximize the RE utilizations. Price for the charging may be decided in different way. It is possible to decide the charging pricing, which is one of the important factors lead to affect what are the methodology and when the people can go for the chargings. That may be real-time pricing, that is at time of use charges, critical peak pricing, peak price, so rebate, dynamic price-based coordination method, and decentralized dynamic pricings. These are pertaining to the particularly charging, smart charging. The smart charging is very important, and it is also helpful by way of utilization of AI technology, AI and machine learning data coordination of the vehicles charging stations, etc., which has been helpful to decide smart charging at a particular place. Now coming to the battery, we found that there are four types of battery. One used at consumer place, one is industrial place, one is used at the power plant or substations, and fourth is EV charging. At present, consumer electronics having 36.4 gigawatt hours requirement. At grid level, it is 134.6 gigawatt, and particularly industrial 47.3. While in EV charging, it is 381.4 gigawatt hours requirements. And we found that as the battery is important factors so far as the EV charging, particularly these industries, that has been helpful drive the battery technology also. Coming to the growth part is concerned, the major forces which drive the battery industries is EV charging, as well as the battery when used at different place, it having different application. In consumer goods, it is for running one-sided unidirectional. While the battery is connected with the distribution system, it is work as a supporting to the distribution network to avoid congestions and provide better stability at grid level. At substation level, it helpful for the voltage control and ancillary services, frequency control, other things. For power station, when it is installed, it provides the frequency helpful for frequency controls, which is where avoid the ramp up and ramp down is required. Now, so battery is concerned, the ESO target of 4% is provided in the regulation MOP rules that up to 2930 it required to be keep 1.4% of the battery. The battery requirement is that because as the EV penetration is increased, connected with the grids, it is also affect the renewable penetration. So it is required to see that grid is require ancillary services for balancing, and that's why target for the 4% is provided, and which work out to 396 gigawatt hours of battery. So the battery is essential as far as the EV, not only EV mobility, it is also required for the grid prospective aspects for quality of power supply also. Now coming to the battery, there are different type of technology available, nickel, magnesium, and cobalt, and lithium ion cobalt based batteries. Lithium ion cobalt based battery having density lower, and they are used for lower distance, where nickel based battery are used for particularly higher level of mileage also. Now coming to the batteries, the different metals which are used, that is lithium ion, nickel, and cobalt, and availability of that is also one of the important factors. So far as the lithium is concerned, it is available 26 million tons, nickel is 100 million tons, and cobalt is 8.3. And annual consumption of lithium is 3.8, nickel is 2.1, and cobalt is 0.3. So it is essential to see that what is how the battery technology will be sustainable in future, as and when the growth of the requirement of the battery is important, we are considers. The battery is also helpful in different way, so far as trading, production, and transmission and distribution network in different way also. And battery is utilized in the system, so it is recognized in the electricity rule 2023. It is a power system, power systems. Energy storage is a power systems, and when it is used in conjunction with the distribution, it is considered as a distribution system element. When it is used with the transmission network, it is considered as a transmission network element, and when it is used for the power plant, it is used as a generating stations elements. So recognition of the battery in the power systems is helpful for as and when any challenges has been happen. Now coming to the battery use is concerned, I have provided one graph in the particularly my presentations, where we see that at present we are facing that huge penetration of solar is increasing and renewable is increasing, and penetration of the solar is such that in daytime huge amount of the solar generation is available, and at that time demand is comparatively, it met the demand, or sometimes it is higher than the demand. So it is traded at exchange level, exchange at very low levels. But in peak hours and off-peak hours, the solar is not available at that times. So the grid operator and power generator demand, the power generators are required to schedule their generation in such a way, or grid operator or licensee schedule in such a way that they may optimize their requirement of the power. And it is seen that during 7 to 10 hours, the requirement of energy is quite high, and in evenings 18 to 20 hours it is high. At present, at 18 to 20 hours, the pricing of the energy at exchange level, which is capped at 10 rupees per unit, but availability of power is not at that time. While in peak hours, on early peak hours, the demand is met out. It particularly off-peak hours, particularly daytimes, it is surplus available. So energy storage is one of the business model maybe happen in future, which may be helpful this aspect. Considering these different aspects, I feel that the battery and development the battery components is lead in future, and it will be helpful for integration part of the grids operations, electric vehicle promotions, as well as it also helpful for charging of the different type of smart technique. Thank you.